Let's move forward on a cruise ship. Some cruise lines add a gratuity onto the payment for you, so check with the specific cruise ship on which you will be traveling. Otherwise, plan to include tipping as part of the cost of taking a cruise. Usually, small envelopes are left in your cabin with suggestions for gratuity amounts. First of all, gratuity means something given voluntarily or beyond obligation, usually for some service. It says here that when checking to a cruise ship, better check if the cruise lines will be adding it to your bill or they will provide a small envelope for you to left some gratuity amounts. However, tipping should always be in mind that it is some kind of gift for their service. These are the example of gratuity in a cabin stewards and waiters. They can get around $3 to $4 each per guest per day, while in matre d' or head waiter and busboy is 1.50 to $2 each per guest per day. Some suggest $10 to $15 to matre d' for the week. Matre d' is the one who oversee the service of food and beverages to guests in a restaurant and other eating places. They also check reservations, greet guests, and supervise the waiting staff, while the busboy is the one who removes dirty dishes and resets tables in a restaurant. At some point, cruise lines decided to eliminate the complex process of teaching passengers who and how to tip on ships and to eliminate the entire process of handing out envelopes and requiring passengers to hunt down all the staff that had served them to hang out the envelopes. Instead, the cruise lines would just automatically add a standard daily service charge to the bill of every passenger on the ship, which would be in place of the inconvenient procedures of passengers having to place cash envelopes and give them out to all the people that serve them. Some cruise lines may state tipping not required, but tips should be given for good service. So here's a question. If you tip additional cash on a cruise ship, does the individual service person, like bartender, steward, or server, get to keep it? Or do tips go in a big pool that gets split between all positions at the end of the cruise? So the answer is, if you give the cash directly to the individual, they get to keep it. The cruise lines provide envelopes if you want to give it to a specific crew member. You may bring your own envelopes and thank you cards and hand the cash or card to each person to ensure it goes where you want it to. Here are the list of other service provided with gratuities. For tour guide, $2 to $5 for a 1 to 2 hour sightseeing tour. For a pizza delivery, $1 per pizza or 10% of the bill. For furniture delivery, $10 each person. For hairstylist, at least $2 minimum or 15 to 20% of the bill, whichever is greater. Example, if a haircut costs $10 and then 15% is $1.50, but at least give $2. For a blackjack dealer, $2 to $10 are minimum bet at the table after you're through playing. For a change person at a slot machine, $1 to $5 more if you hit a jackpot. Here are few things seems more luxurious than having breakfast in the morning paper delivered to your hotel room. If you're wondering whether to include a tip for your room service attendant, there are few things to remember about tipping etiquette when you're traveling. Tip number 1. Inquire about whether gratuities are part of the deal when you make your hotel reservation. A few upscale hotels add a daily fee to your bill to cover tips for the bellhops, concierge, room service attendants, and housekeepers. To make sure that you will not double your tip, you should ask first whether it is already added onto the bill, because most of the management would just automatically add a standard daily service charge to the bill to eliminate the complex process. Tip number 2. Learn to decipher the room service bill and ask questions if you don't understand. Most hotels include a service charge to deliver to your room, often along with an added gratuity charge of 20%. The built-in gratuity is a tip that goes to the room service attendant. If you want to understand why your bill is kinda bigger than what you expected, you can kindly ask them why it is like that. Because, as what has been said, the most hotel already included the service charge. Tip number 3, 4, and 5. Don't feel obligated to tip beyond the 20% delivery charge. Simply mark a line through the tip area, sign the bill, and thank your server. If you wish to give the delivery person a small additional amount, $1 to $2 is sufficient. Tip a standard to 15 to 20% if there is no gratuity charge included in your bill. It is acceptable to add a tip to a credit card slip or to use cash if you prefer. Remember though, that tipping is discretionary and dependent upon service efficiency and friendliness. Print, print out a pre-tip table at tipping if numbers tax your brain. It says here that 15% is appropriate for average service, 20% if your server is above average. You should feel free to tip above 20% if you received excellent service. If you received poor service, it is better to talk to the manager than to skip on the tip. Leaving no tip does not correct the problem of poor service.